Fnatic, the Unicorns of Love. We just heard Kick is talking about Huni and his ability to impact the game.
Let's not give him Hecarim
After
again.
he was given Hecarim and just rampaged across OUL.
I think we're going to see Unicorns of Love go back to the standard bans for them in the first two games. LeBlanc, Zed taken away, then Hecarim as well. Unless they want to first pick it. Visichachi does play Hecarim top lane, and he's pretty good at it. So it could be a first pick for them. Because Fnatic will obviously not think about banning it, as they want to try and secure it on the blue side, purple side.
We did not see Power of Evil Syndra really get going at all.
True.
Not the same sort of lane control that we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
We also, again, did not see Hylissang on Thresh really living up. Again, it's a little unfair because the team fell behind, as we touched on in the previous pick and ban. This time around, blue side for Unicorns of Love. If they go back, what do they prioritize as first pick?
Well, what we got to look at here, and what Fnatic has done in the last two games, is always draft a lot of engage early on. So that tells Unicorns of Love you cannot run your immobile mid laners that focus on poking, because we can always force teamfights on you. It was the Rumble, Twisted Fate, and Nautilus combination in game 2. Now Hecarim first pick in this one in the last game. So they always make sure they get enough engage to stop that poke from coming in. And without that, Unicorns don't really seem to have anything ready unless they're going to pull out something completely different now, because it's a must-win game. And for a team who's known for pulling out different picks, this is the time to do it if you want to surprise Fnatic.
One game potentially away from Fnatic being crowned the Spring Split champion, from getting themselves 90 championship points towards Worlds and booking a ticket to Florida to do battle at MSI. The first team on stage was Unicorns of Love. The crowd was cheering. They came back after the break and they sat down. Need to see what they decide to lock in. We heard from the previous game, they adapt. Their adaptation from game 2 to game 3 failed. And I wonder what kind of damage that's going to do to their mindset.
So now that you know Fnatic is running these comps that has enough engage that you can't pull off your siege strategy, honestly, I would first pick the Hecarim. I would ban Zed LeBlanc, and then I would consider, okay, is that jungle ban we have to get rid of? Is it the Gragas maybe, or do we want to continue banning Rek'Sai just to do it? Sivir could be another ban. It's been very good in the hands of Fnatic whenever they played it, and then you first pick that Hecarim. So you now run this style of very hard engage in the mid game, and you try and simply play Fnatic's game, and you try and match it, and not be in that situation where you rely on getting to a certain point in the game before you can really fight. So that could be an adaptation for them. But it really depends on what the team want to pull up, because we can never really predict the Unicorns of Love and their pick and ban strategies.
Well, we are about to find out. You can see Summoner's trophy here for the Spring Split.
So
listening, and it's going to go back to the original plan. No changes here for Fnatic. And first pick Sivir. So again, it was one of the options you touched on, Officio. Where did Fnatic go from here?
Well, Thresh, if they want to secure that one, even though they were happy giving it over to the Unicorns of Love, that was when they could get Sivir and Nautilus as a combo from Fnatic's side. Otherwise, I mean, you got the Rumble open in the top lane for Huni, so you can still run this backline snipe with Nautilus, Rumble together. Twisted Fate is there. I mean, there's a lot of options for Fnatic. It's not a massive problem, but I do think it's a very good first pick for Unicorns of Love, as Sivir has been so good at forcing these fights, and also kiting back, honestly, if that's the comp you're trying to build. But Fnatic needs to make sure they have enough tools to dive that backline of Unicorns of Love. Otherwise, we're going to see the virus coming in once again, potentially.
10 seconds left on the clock. Fnatic hovering over a champion that was banned all throughout the semi-finals. Freddy has run that smite teleport Shyvana top. And I'm not entirely sold, but we'll see whether or not Huni can do better with Shyvana than he did with Lee Sin. There is some of the engage, disengage tools from the Gragas, and the ability to dive the backline from Shyvana.
Sure, but not the same kind. And if Hylissang plays Janna, this is the time to pull it out, and then you can run your poke composition, because Shyvana, the way she has to engage is from the flank, jumping with her ulti. That's very predictable. And as a Janna, when you pop your Monsoon, you throw that Shyvana away, and you start kiting around, and she never really does a whole lot in those fights. It's going to be more about the Gragas than with his ulti. Land that one correctly. So if Unicorns does play Janna, this will be one of the time to do it. Unless they want to run an all-in composition themselves, then you can still go back to that Thresh. You can go for Leona, which has been a pick for Hylissang as well, during the split. And maybe an Assassin once again in the mid lane for Power of Evil.
I think it's so important that you do talk about Hylissang on that support. He's the only member of Unicorns of Love that you can say has a smaller champion pool. Everybody else has consistently shown new picks. We will see Sejuani for the first time this series.
Gonna be an all-in comp.
Pickus in the jungle, Maokai up top. With Morgana banned away, it opens up that very, very point-and-click, easy engage. Who do they round out their team comp with as far as supports go on Unicorns? Because Fnatic could run Janna themselves.
They could run Janna now that they see what Unicorns are building with so much engage, and you can start playing around Shyvana being so good in split push. She's a bit of a counter pick when it comes to winning the one-on-one against Maokai in that sense. So if you run a lot of disengage on your side, you set up that 1-3-1 and you just let Huni go crazy with the Cinderhawk and just let him do all the work. And that's exactly what Fnatic decides to do if they lock in this Janna. And then you have that fast pushing ability of the Jinx, which means whenever Unicorns have to send 2 guys to try and stop the Shyvana, Jinx will get time to hit a tower and just melt it in a matter of seconds. So Fnatic really building a comp here that's relying on Shyvana getting ahead, and also the assassin pick we expect in the mid lane from Febiven to be able to sit in the other side lane. And then you have Gragas, Jinx, Janna together. That's so much disengage for an immobile AD carry and so much pressure on a tower. Unicorns of Love needs something here that can battle Febiven in the side lanes, or they need enough engage to just always force fights and never allow Fnatic to 1-3-1. That can be another tool for them. They have already the options with Sejuani, with Maokai, with Sivir here. They just need damage, honestly, at this point to be able to just pop the likes of a Jinx and force Fnatic back from the 1-3-1s.
We'll find out if Unicorns do lock in that damage source. Steelback, the only hyper carry he has played has been Jinx. This will be the second time this year. Yellow Star's got a fantastic win-loss on Janna. 5 wins, 1 loss. And we'll see whether or not he can continue to disengage against the Unicorns of Love. We had anticipated and theory crafted what Hylissang would lock in. He's going to stick with Thresh. He needs to make those death sentences count. Unicorns, a lot of engage. They do have some scaling in Orianna and some decent mid-game with the Sivir, Maokai, Sejuani. They've got a jack-of-all-trades team composition. They can pick, they can team fight, they can wave clear.
The only thing they can't do is stop a split pusher. Maokai is not going to do anything against Shyvana. Orianna is not going to move to a side lane either and sit and fight against whatever assassin we assume is coming from Febiven. So Fnatic don't really care too much as long as they can avoid Unicorns engaging, but that's going to be the big deal because in a straight-up 5-on-5 team fight, Unicorns of Love are looking very, very strong. They got great scaling with double tank. Orianna in the late game, even Sivir has good damage in the later stages of the game. So they are drafted a very good 5-on-5 comp. It's going to need time to scale at first, and then it's going to rely on Fnatic not starting applying pressure on the side lanes.
Last few seconds on the clock, and Febiven will once again run the Kassadin. It did not result in a victory in the very first game of this series, but Fnatic too have a lot of late game damage.
Yeah, and also good team fight from them. Their Themes build on Kassadin makes him very, very strong once it's completed in the fights, especially if you start poking down targets. You can almost count it as a reset for Kassadin by getting a kill on assist with getting mana back. Same goes for the Jinx, getting proc her passive. So for Fnatic here, if they manage to kite back at first when the main engage comes from the Unicorns of Love, we're talking 5-on-5 here, and then just slowly poke them down and see one quick kill, you reset both the AD carry and the Kassadin. And that's where they simply start chasing against the Unicorns and you won't be able to escape. So it's going to be very important the first engage coming in from the Unicorns of Love, that it counts, and that also this Shyvana doesn't get to just run amok in the one-on-one situation and take over your jungle, which is what she can do if she's left on her own.
Well, Huni has to do with Shyvana what he was unable to do with Lee Sin. And the other person that really tried that Shyvana top was Freddy from SK, and he was knocked out yesterday. Lost within the semifinals. I'm still not entirely sold, but we'll need to see if it works out. I know Dentist touched on the analyst desk yesterday as well. The impact of that challenging smite is so seldom seen. These are your team comps for potentially the last time in the European Spring Split Finals. From Madrid, Spain, the Unicorns of Love have their backs against the wall. We will see if they can contain Fnatics' very, very scary scaling team composition.
Both teams really looking for the late game just a few more options for Fnatic in the way they can play out this game, with the likes of Shyvana top and a skirmisher Saber, Kassadin as well in a one-on-one. Once he gets going, it can be very difficult to deal with. So Fnatic definitely has a few more options, where Unicorns of Love, it's very simple. It's 5-on-5 team fighting. It's gonna be about putting pressure on towers because there's a very low amount of wave clear from Fnatic. Static shift comes in from the Jinx, and that's gonna be the main thing, honestly. And her rockets, the Kassadin, it's just not reliable enough when you have to sit close in melee range to clear out these minions with your force pulls. So that's where Unicorns of Love does have an edge. And if the early game does go in their favor, they can really take advantage of it. They like to use Vardax as one of these fast pushers on Sivir. So once he takes his own bottom lane tower, they quickly rotate him to the top or mid lane and go for another one. They don't just leave him in a lane to sit and farm. They use him to get a global goal, a global advantage.
We'll find out if they can get those advantages to Fischer. We do see Vizicachi starting out with that traditional sapling start near the Razorbeak camp. And I know it's very early in the game, but I do want to remind everybody, Power of Evil's Orianna is the reason Unicorns of Love are in the finals. In Game 5 against SK, he stole that Baron with a well-timed shockwave. And he will need to replicate that level of performance.
Not sure if they saw Huni at all. Then now Hylissang is spotting them, seeing they're trying to steal a blue buff, and they're gonna match the swap here from Fnatic and get the 2v2 lane. Huni still does not want to let this blue buff go. He has Smite, remember. And with Yellow Sword there, he should. Oh, it just reset.
That reset continues to reset. There's an example of that soft leash cap. Five times you can pull it out before it decides to go back.
That's enough.
Chill. Now keep in mind, when Huni was playing Lee Sin, he had a number of very good early game starts. This time around it's been thwarted.
Yeah, this is a very bad thing for him because we saw the Maokai do the Raptor cam and get level 2, so Huni's gonna teleport down, being a level behind and not gain any advantage from the early game.
And on top of that, we're gonna see Kikis move over to his blue buff, considering he's got his duo up top. Should be able to secure that one as well.
Yeah,
so
just
Kikis,
a standard route for him.
Nothing too out of the ordinary. We'll see how well Huni can bring himself back in. Look at that bottom lane. 12-0 and the level advantage. Huni going to have a difficult time against an opponent who's 2 lanes above.
I'll have to wait for the minions to hit his tower before he gets anything at all. Reignover has done a very good job with his early ganks, even on the likes of a Kragas, who of course has so much CC. Now, he's going to force at least a flash up here, but everything goes correctly.
Kikis is going to be late to this one. Reignover is low, but it doesn't matter. Hylissang is going to be forced to flash in a moment. 100 hit points as he goes back. Now Kikis has joined the fight. Bardax at a lot of HP. Kikis flash for flash. Trades with Steelback and Summoner spells blown. It is a jungle plus support from UOL and a jungle plus AD carry from Fnatic. We'll see whether or not Steelback can be punished for not having that utility or that mobility summoner spell.
Yeah, definitely hurt Steelback quite a lot. And also because he took at least a little bit of damage from this trade. The wave was already pushing down to his tower. He is slightly behind in CS, which honestly is standard for the Fnatic dual lane, but so is it for Vardax. It's 2 of the dual lanes who's not been doing well in terms of farming, if we look at the other games they've played in the OUL CS, but they've always showed up, especially the AD carries, when it comes to team fights and cleaning house. That's really where they have shined, both of them.
They have, and Steelback has improved in the playoffs thanks to the fact that Huni's struggled with all those bans in the semi-final. But something I touched on in PTL is the fact that Steelback and Vardax were 9th and 10th in the LCS for damage dealt for your respective team. These are 2 guys that are oftentimes carried through the early stages of the game by their supports. And then as you brightly touched on, and as we've said many, many times on Split, it is their teamfight positioning that allows them to play the janitor role. Cleaning house from whatever mess their solo laners and junglers seem to have created.
Yeah, let's look at the rest of the map here. Power of Evil had to not go for his Chalice, no real surprise for him, and he's not really able to get much of a CS lead against the Kassadin with Flask and 3 potions. It's just going to be a bit of a farm fest, but where you know that Kassadin is going to sit under his own towers. He doesn't really have any pressure on any lanes, but with double Cinderhawk jungler, that doesn't do a whole lot for them, and Unicorns can't really take too much advantage of it. Therefore, we have some sort of a passive farming early game, where it's about the junglers, where they decide to gank. Second one for Reignover's in the bottom lane.
I really like that play. Huni stepping on the sapling, make sure Reignover can get in safe, but I don't know if Chachi's going to push up far enough. Body slam, I don't think it connected with Chachi. Hit the melee minions, and Chachi's going to be able to back away. And healing from his passive, healing him up. Flay lands on the death sentence. The Flay pulls him back, the death sentence does not connect. Fnatics will take a couple auto attacks from Steelback, and at the end of the day, the trade seems to be relatively even. Yellow Star's running low on mana.
Yeah, but you also have to look at what they have left here. Potion is still there for Vardax. So he can keep taking some trades with the Jinx, and even though he maybe slightly loses it, he has the potion then to get HP back, and that's going to force Steelback back to his. What they're trying to do is get him to back before he has a BF sword, and that worked, because he's recalling now.
Look at this could be 2-on-1. Featherman does have Riftwalk though, and Flash. Being able to take some damage. Power Weaver holding on to the Shockwave. That looks like he manages to kill that Razor Beak. This Kickless is going to clear out the ward, thanks to the buff.
Very good advantage though for Unicorns of Love in that 2v2 lane, because now they have enough gold on Vardax to get that BF sword to just a pickaxe from Steelback. So once they go back to the 2v2 lane, once they see them on the bottom side, they're gonna go down and meet them. They can push that one in. And as we talked about, Unicorns of Love like to use Vardax once he gets an early tower to quickly rotate in between the lanes and just keep pushing them in. Kassadin does not have any way of defending his tower against 3 guys. So if Unicorns of Love put a lot of focus on the bottom side, where they will be stronger due to this BF sword on Vardax, they can get down that tower and then get to the mid lane, and that's how they want to create the lead, which they so desperately, honestly, they have a good comp, which they want.
They want. Actually, you know what? I think it's fair to say desperate, because they're one game away from being eliminated from the playoffs. But I do want to just highlight again, Hylissang landing that death sentence before Reignover came in to gank. How impactful that has been. Even in the 3v2, you know, summoner spells were blown. Steelback and Yellowstar unable to get that early kill. Hylissang has bought time for Vardax to farm himself up to now the AD damage advantage. Huni with an aggressive invade. He's going to smite away that wolf camp, something that you can do and consistently will see him doing.
Yeah.
That top lane Shyvana.
He's also expecting Kickers to be on the bottom side of the map with that dual lane. Also has so many early wards, so they have pretty good information on the jungler. Also smiting the wolves gives him that extra vision in the jungle against the Unicorns of Love. He's still behind in CS. This is all from level 1, where he was denied that blue buff, TP down as level 1, and already fallen like 6 to 7 CS behind. Some of them were the small raptors for Vizichachi. And now Vardax and Hylissang, as expected, already pushing in. Get some damage on this tower every single time. What Hylissang can do then, just position himself slightly behind Vardax, and in case a gank happens, you can always lantern him and just pull him to safety. And then you can get a few hits every time. And here's Kikis as well.
We did see Yellow Star just dodge that death sentence, sidestep away. Kikis with the Glacial Prison, looking to set something up. Walk straight over Fnatic ward though, so yes, they've cleared the second bush, but Fnatic well aware of his position. Look at Huni getting bullied away by Vizichachi. Level advantage, farm advantage, all that HP on mana. Featherman, very good trade in the middle lane in fact. Putting some damage into Power People's Orianna.
One of the problems for this top lane Shyvana is you need to get your Skirmisher Saber, you need to get that Cinderhulk before you really can take advantage of your Smite. So in the early trades, it's been so heavily in favor of Vizichachi, and he's using it, forcing a TP. So if Dragon gets started by the Unicorns of Love, they have everything needed to secure it. Potential TP, stronger AD carry, and the bottom lane consistently being pushed in. They're starting it here. Fnatic goes down to contest it, they will end up dying, or at least be forced to flash away. They should be able to stop them, and Unicorns will get it.
You definitely prefer... Oh, the Shockwave connects onto Featherman, but that magic shield blocks so much of it. Dragon number 1 secured by Unicorns of Love. Vizichachi jumped on the Huni in the top lane. Dragon's Descent available, but not needed. Huni did pick up that Cinderhulk on his last back, so he's in a good position. Quickly take a look at Power of Evil. He gets caught out by Reignover. Reignover's got the explosive cask available, and here comes Featherman. This is going to be first blood. Featherman secures it with the Null Spear. Then they turn their attention to Kikis. We do see the body slam. Hylissang's coming into support. Glacial Prison connects with 2. The Death Sentence connects on Featherman. The Yellow Star flashes over the wall, throws up the tornado to keep him alive. Here comes Chachi. He's looking for a target. He's found it. Now we can turn to Reignover. Does not manage to connect with the Arcane Smash, but Kikis, can he ride that Poro in? Chachi's going to decide to back away, and I think that was wise. Unicorns of Love, even the first blood with a kill of their own, One to Kassadin, one to Maokai.
Yeah, one to Kassadin is important. Look at Chachi here, not going back to defend his top lane tower. Wanted to force this bottom lane so they can now take Vardax to the mid lane instead. See if they can get another tower. What Fnatic can do as a response is you put the Kassadin on the bottom side lane to just sit and try and farm, and you take Steelback and Yellowstar in the mid lane to try and hold them off in the 2v2. If they don't do that, Unicorns should be able to secure another tower fairly easily in that mid lane. First step is going back and then defending the wave coming into a tier 1 bottom though from Unicorns.
See if they can follow that step-by-step process. But for Unicorns, good start. Despite giving up first blood, they thwarted Huni's invade. They did well in the 2v2. We still yet to see Vardax backing. Despite him securing that bottom lane tower, we do see Reignover hovering around. And Hylissang roaming to that middle lane, anticipating some potential aggression. We've also not seen Steelback back for a while. So we'll need to see how the itemization difference plays out.
He's just waiting for that BF sword. So you kind of have to put you in such an annoying situation if you go back the first time without 1550. You simply just get forced to play so much more passive. And sit back. Chachi here, he might get collapsed on. A lot of members from Fnatic coming in as he's trying to clear that buff. Notice how everyone from the Unicorns is around the mid lane. Steelback isn't here. He's the only one who's going to offer any decent sort of wave there together with the Gragas. Reignover is now in position to let the barrel sit for a while to get proper damage. But
well, this looks like it should be an uncontested tower to officiate.
Yeah.
Although Fnatic, they are relatively close by. Against Descent is available. Where's the cast from Reignover?
Gotta kill that tower.
Death Sentence connects. Tower does go down. Huni does not actually get caught by the flame. Looking for the shockwave. That's a prison into shockwave. 3 members of Fnatic lose their HP bars. We do see Huni being chased down. Their command protect onto Kikis as Unicorns of Love are chasing them. Super Mega Death Rocket is not enough. And Fnatic lose 3 members as Unicorns get a tower in the kills.
And Sheepy as a coach can be so happy. Unicorns of Love did everything right here. They followed the plan. Take bot tower. Then we go mid versus the Kassadin. We took that tower and got the perfect fight right after. Notice how they're still focusing it even though Fnatic is jumping in. So to take it down. Now it's an even fight. Shyvana, Salty doesn't manage to hit anything. And 3 guys together. Kikis gets them. Power of Evil gets them. And now it's in the favor of Unicorns. Also here with 5 members way before Steelback even joined. And that was just perfect. And that's how you get a goal lead. When your AD carry gets a better back timing than the other ones, and you're against the likes of a Kassadin.
What a fantastic fight for the Unicorns of Love. 3-0-1. Righteous Glory completed for Vizichachi. He can single out anybody that he wants. And Fnatic are now the ones down on gold. Fnatic is now the team that has to pull this game back. For Unicorns, they do have an outer turret to set their sights on in the top lane. Unicorns rather, Timo wanted to say, as you can see Hylissang and Vardax positioning up top.
That also stops Huni from invading into the jungle, taking some of these camps. So once all outer turrets are gone, that's where Shyvana can struggle, because if you push her into her own tier 2 tower and you start warding up the enemy jungle, she never gets the option to counter jungle, and you can keep her in check. And she needs a lot of time with the Cinderhawk to scale up and become really, really powerful. And she has sort of a weird scaling because her damage right now is fine, but then her damage late game goes down quite a lot, but she becomes really, really tanky. She just struggles when it comes to getting into the fights then, unless she gets the right flank, because you can always see her, you know she's going to ulti in towards you. You can even flay her back with Hylissang if he times it correctly.
They want Febervin. That's 3 members of Unicorns of Love.
He jumped right. No, he didn't.
Glory is available. It's only rank 1 on that Rift Walk. It's still 5 or 6 seconds. Cooldown. He does manage to make his way out. Unicorns of Love unable to find the target. They do get that top tower as Vardax is left uncontested. And look at the numbers. Unicorns now moving on to the inner turret. Steelback is 1.5 years away. He's not going to be in place to defend.
They're going to go for another one. There's no response. The jungle has just been warded off. The Shyvana's been pushed back. And Fnatic are trying their best to hold the tower. They will defend it for now. If the Unicorns stay around, they can just follow in with the next wave, because Steelback is still quite far away from this bottom lane. Chachi is going back to catch it. He has teleport ready. Worst case, always have to respect the Jinx if he gets onto that tower.
So no mistakes from Unicorns. They do not dive. They do not misplay the siege. And when Fnatic were able to defend the inner turret, defensive peel away. Unicorns are 4K gold up at 15 minutes. Infinity Edge finished for Vardags. Athenes and Sork Shoes for Power of Evil. Febiven still stacking that Rod of Ages. Only had it for a couple minutes. And we'll need to see how long it'll take Febiven to become relevant in this game.
A long time.
As well as that Shyvana, again, a top lane smite champion in the EU LCS. The early game was thwarted, and as you've touched on in terms of tankiness and damage, and we'll need to see who he throws that challenging smite onto. I just don't like it, Deficio.
I can hear that. I can hear that. Well, he's starting to get some good trades with Chachi. He does have that percent damage and the challenging smite with the true damage as well for himself. So that's good. That's what they can play around still from Fnatic's side. They just gotta worry about the other lanes, because look at the Unicorns here. By leaving Chachi on his own, if they want to send 2 or 3 guys to kill him from Fnatic, well, they open up either mid or bottom lane. And that's gonna go down because there are 4 guys here. No wave clear yet, no static shift. Steelback needs quite a lot of time before he can take down the waves with the rockets. And Unicorns love always looking to just chip away on these towers. Huni will get a top tower. That's good for Fnatic.
Still sticking around bottom. Vizichachi's got teleports available. He's going to start using it onto the siege minion.
Whoa, Rainover.
Trying to defend this tower. Rainover gets a little bit caught out. That's a flash death sentence that does not connect. Flay pulls Rainover back. Look at Febiven. Shockwave does not manage to get him, but the Glacial Prison does. We do see Vizichachi going forward. The Vengeful Maelstrom does get a good pop onto people, but Power of Evil's low on mana. Keep your eyes on Vardags. He's got a lot of damage and a lot of HP. He manages to get the first kill onto Febiven. Now landing auto attack after auto attack. The half dragon Wyvern Huni is trying to run down Unicorns.
Oh, another one!
That's another one. It's Power of Evil. Gets the mana back thanks to the Athena Holy Grail. Kickus flashes forward, and thanks to the attack and dissonance, it's Power of Evil that gets the 8th kill of the game for the Unicorns of Love. And with 4 members down, they set the sights on the inhibitor turret.
We could see what Fnatic tried to do here. They wanted the TP from Shyvana behind and then start a fight under the tower. But it was just Rainover on his own, and the Unicorns of Love, after failing to get a kill at first, they just kite back, and Hylissang with the hooks. Notice the way he catches Febiven first, and then the Gragas later. So look at this here. Rainover, he's going to try and fight on the tower because they know Huni's going to TP in. He's going back to base at first, so it's a little bit too early for Fnatic, and they take a lot of damage for it. Here's the TP behind. If you look at your minimap, near the blue buff, Shockwave missed completely from Power of Evil, and now Unicorns realize, okay, we have to suddenly start kiting back. We have to respect the Shyvana, who's been diving our backline. Look at Hylissang, catches Febiven. That's kill number 1. And Vardags keep jumping around. Shyvana can't really get onto him. The rest of Fnatic can't do anything either. Second hook from Hylissang coming in after the kill onto Huni. He even pulls the Grump. That's swag if you get Grump and a Gragas. Look at that Grump running around.
Oh my word, Deficio used the word swag. Unicorns of Love are infecting even mild-mannered Deficio. 8-1, 7,000 gold.
My jacket is too big anyway, I gotta say something.
4 towers to 1. And the Unicorns, they want to make it 5 games. They still need to close it out. They still need to push through to the Nexus.
Look at
but
here.
If they do, it will be semi-finals, 3rd place, and finals, all going to 5.
They're gonna set up a trap. Febiven and Huni together in a tree, fighting. Can they get him down?
Well, Vengeful Maelstrom is ticking away. Vizichachi does not have flash, and
it's a no. And now your mid lane is in trouble because 4 guys from Unicorns are once again pushing. They're so happy just leaving Vizichachi as bait and being like, you just sit there in the side lane, and if they come and kill you, well, we instantly respond by pushing. Febiven is gonna see if he can come in from the side. No TP for Huni, no ulti either.
I've got boots, he's running quite quickly.
It is enough though to force them away.
I'll take a look. Vizichachi continues to push down that bottom lane. The rest of Fnatic have defended their inner turrets. We've just crossed 20 minutes. For the 4th time today, the control has swung. Hylissang, swing and a miss. He's unable to find Rainover.
That's the joy when you build cooldown reduction in Thresh. Doesn't matter if you miss 10, they're up again in just a matter of a few seconds. For him now, he's just hit the 30% cooldown reduction. So 8.4 seconds cooldown on his Q. If he lands it, it goes down to another 3 seconds. So you can spam that away, and whenever you connect it, you can make sure the Unicorns will try and follow up and at least get some poke down with it.
Well, we will find out. Look at Kikis. He's looking for a Glacial Prison. If anyone from Fnatic groups up, he's jumped onto Rainover. Explosive Cask has been used to push Unicorns away. Huni does not have Dragon's Descent yet. We do see Vardex melting his HP. The Shockwave pulls Huni and Yellow Star as it's Huni that gets dropped. Unicorns stun up Steelback. Where's the death sentence? Will Hylissang be able to connect? He's looking to wind it up. He throws it and the answer will be no, as the Unicorns of Love will take the inner turret. Deficio, no team in the European LCS has bounced back from a 5,000 gold deficit at 20 minutes, and Fnatic were 7,000 gold down at 20 minutes. Unicorns, they're onto the inhibitor turrets.
I just love the way they played around Vardex on this Sivir. Chachi even teleported down, sacrificing his own top tower just to get the bottom lane so they could start moving between the lanes, get full control, get the goal lead, get the item advantage. And we have seen one missed shockwave from Power View, the rest has been spot on. 5 kills for him. Kick is on this Sejuani as well. This is a pick he could have taken so many times, where he went either for jungle Gnar or Udyr in the last game, where Sejuani would have fit in so well. I didn't even think he was playing it. And now he pulls it out. 9 assists out of 10 kills. Landed multiple ultis. I'm a fan of the Sejuani.
Especially when Kikis is landing such great Glacial Prisons. Unicorns of Love, super minions at 20 minutes. Steelback has got no attack speed increase, no critical hit. It is going to take so long for Fnatic members to deal with those supers in the middle lane. It should allow Unicorns to have the pick of the litter of whatever objective they want to set their sights on. And we'll see what they decide. For the time being, it looks to be Dragon, and I think that's a smart call.
Take a Dragon first, and then you want that last outer turret in the top lane, and you also want the Baron pressure for them. So the goal should now be to take over that topside jungle, push in the last tier 2, and also tell Fnatic that if you can't see us for a while, expect us to be on that Baron, and you have to come and face check us, as we've seen time and time again. And you just throw that ulti from Kikis, and you start a fight on Fnatic. So by them moving up here, they have to go into the jungle. See what other wards they have. I would have liked a ping or 2 more from Unicorns of Love. They have to go for it. Trevor, kiss me. Alright, back to the game.
Oh. It's not that kissing you makes me laugh that much. It's just I really did not expect that, Deficio.
Everyone watching, he did do it. He did do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can tell we have some NBA fans and NFL fans in the production team, because that's the kiss cam on most American sports shows. We now have it in Madrid, Spain, for the LCS Spring Split Finals. Unicorns gonna start knocking on the inner turret in the top lane. I'm sorry, I don't know how to follow that to the show. Oh, right, let's get serious. Unicorns have got numbers in the top. That was an explosive cask used from Rainover. Everybody sidestepped it. Featherman eats a hook from Hylissang. That's going to reset the cooldown. Riftwalk goes in, but Chachi catches Featherman. Shockman goes out, pulling Hootie backward. This could be the game-winning fight. Death Sentence doesn't connect, but it doesn't need to. The Unicorns are going to peel backwards, look for the turret. Super minions pouring through on the middle lane. Once that gets to the Nexus, keep in mind, Unicorns can start taking down any other objective. Steelback throws up the Death Rocket, and he snipes down Vardex. That is the turret killing machine down. Good positioning from Steelback to get himself some kills on the board. We do see the Unicorns now peeling. Explosive Cask not there, but Vizichachi goes for a long-range Twisted Advance. Vizichachi now being hammered on from Steelback, but there's not a lot of damage. He's relying on an Avarice Blade and an Infinity Edge only. Despite losing Vardex, Unicorns get the turrets, and they start to knock down the next piece of Fnatic's base.
We just have to say it, flawless game from the Unicorns of Love. And they did the same against SK Gaming in Game 1 and Game 3. It was near perfect for them. I believe even won the games. They didn't even give a single kill to SK Gaming. So when this team gets a good start, they really seem to know, okay, where do we move next? How do we take advantage of this situation? This game, they showed it perfectly. And Fnatic, after having their Hecarim game in Game 3, after running with so much hard engage beforehand, they changed it up with the Shyvana pick top lane. It was very clear what the strategy was. They wanted the option of either 1-3-1 with Shyvana top lane or also just have a strong late game team fight. They just never got there because of a disadvantage, first of all, in the bottom lane. Honestly, also for Huni, with not getting that blue buff. So side lanes fell behind. Kassadin could only sit in his lane and farm and not really do anything. It was just a matter of time before he was going to be the next target. And then Unicorns just outplayed Fnatic in team fights.
Well, they'll have more outplay potential as Vizichachi's got teleport available and he's pushing down the bottom lane. We touched on how Maokai's not going to be able to deal with a split push threat from Fnatic. But Maokai's the split push threat.
I mean, when you're thinking all that, you don't really care about that one. Fnatic tried to kill him a few times, but every time they did, Unicorns were just in position to get a tower somewhere and it backfired completely. Now, they're gonna
oh, here comes Rainover.
That
that was a well-timed teleport as Vizichachi has managed to get in. We do see both Vardags and Power of Evil focusing down the inhibitor. Dragon's Descent is available, but On the Hunt gets thrown out. The Righteous Glory as well. Unicorns of Love have done enough to push Fnatic away from the objective. And I think they got what they wanted. Super Minions now pushing up top lane and outside of the Sivir ultimate. They still have a lot to work with. Glacial Prism from Kikis. Where will it go? Huni, a defensive run. Featherbit and Huni both get caught out. Sapling lands for touchdown. Yellowstar with a super early monsoon. We do see the shockwave connecting onto Rainover, but you know what? When you get him down, you can get another inhibitor. Unicorns of Love are pushing another playoff best of 5 to the 5th game. We have never had playoffs this exciting. And there is no way to predict what these teams will do in another 5th game deciding match.
It's just a perfect story here. Unicorns and Fnatic against each other in Madrid in front of so many people.
Again! Vizichachi catches Featherbin out. He goes down once more. Power of Evil and the Unicorns of Love will drop the fan favorite Huni. Take down their 3rd inhibitor. And set their sights onto the Nexus turrets. 0-0-15. James Bond 007 ain't half as good as Hylissang. And the Unicorns of Love take us to Game 5. Ladies and gentlemen, the European LTS Spring Split is going the distance.